Vasyl Lomachenko, Gervonta Tank Davis off the table. This was a bout that was going to be scheduled for November. Vegas, money was being negotiated. It fell apart. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. In this video, we will discuss the fallout from this fight falling out and what's next for one Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, when I think about Vasyl Lomachenko, if you see what Gervonta Tank Davis just did to Frank Martin, he destroyed him brutally. I keep rewatching that last blow before he gets dropped. That was a short shot, and it had stupid power on it. Shout out to Tank Davis. Anyway, Lomachenko coming off the victory over George Kambosos, where he dropped him and then eventually stopped him to the body. Was feeling probably pretty good, but I think at 36 years of age, not using age as the excuse, but as the motivating factor as to why you want to take time and ensure that if this is a fight you do indeed take, that you're prepared for it. There was a statement released by Michael Benson via the trainer of, or not the trainer, the manager of Vasyl Lomachenko, and he pretty much stated this, and I feel like this is a really honest statement that was given, and it really provides quality insight into the mindset right now of Lomachenko. And essentially the statement said this: he's not motivated for training right now. He wants to get home, see family, relax a bit, but the fire isn't there in the moment where he could push himself in a way that he could adequately prepare himself for the challenge of Gervonta Tank Davis, because a half-ass anybody is getting absolutely brutalized by one Tank Davis. So that's the Vasyl Lomachenko side of things. I think it's unfortunate. That was a great fight on paper. Stylistically, I couldn't wait to break that one down because there's a lot of nuance there and a lot of, I think, overt opportunities that both fighters could capitalize on to see success in that fight. But nonetheless, we're not getting that fight. And I'm actually led to believe, now that we're doing the video, the timing was so right for this fight now. The fact that Lomachenko's taking the rest of this year off, I don't see it lining up. And I'm going to get into it a little bit more in this video about what's next for one Tank Davis. So let's just go ahead and do that. Shakur Stevenson is now the name that's buzzing about as a potential player for replacing one Lomachenko. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time ruminating on that, so to speak, because it's being talked about as if this is the thing that's on the table. I just kind of got to see it more to believe it. Like, for example, Tank, when Tank and Loma were just negotiating, you knew they were, both sides said we're negotiating. These are some of the particulars. So you knew there was a negotiation going on in the background. When we start talking about, we find out Lomachenko's not fighting for the rest of the year, and in 20 minutes go, well, Shakur. That's not enough time and information for me to lean heavily on that speculation. And I want to ask you guys this question in the comments, or please put your response in the comment section. Are you excited about the prospect of a Gervonta Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson bout? Yes or no? You can provide explanation, but just put in the comment section, if you view this video, are you excited about that bout? Stevenson, Davis, yes or no? I'm probably going to get shit on a little bit for the comment I'm about to make, but I don't know if I want that fight next. And the thing of it is, maybe a couple years ago I did. These guys need to be fighting. That's a reality. But I'm looking at Shakur and his last performance, which was dominant. People call it boring. I didn't consider it as such, but I know he was heavily criticized for that performance. And I just wish I could see him do a little bit more. But if you get these types of opportunities, for example, Ryan Garcia got it because of, sensationalism, social media, and the crowd and spark that he brings. Gervonta Tank Davis undefeated, all knockouts, but like one fight or whatever the case may be, a 6-rounder. And his fan base and the fact that he is really moving towards that face of boxing status, that fight made sense. I would not say that Ryan Garcia deserved it based on any kind of boxing accolade, where you could definitely say that for the perspective of Shakur Stevenson. I just think the other things are like, man, because it's a hell of an opportunity, right? If you're Shakur, if the Lomachenko shit goes down, you are nowhere close to being on the radar of a Tank Davis. This is a ridiculous opportunity, and I would definitely push hard for it. Pause. Now, my next question, put this in the comment section. Take Shakur off the table. Who could Tank fight at 35 or 40 that you would want to see? There's a lot of good answers to that. For me, I'm only interested in seeing Tank Davis go to 40, for like the best fights possible. If he's just a guy or whatever, I'd really prefer to see him stay at 35. Natural weight class. He walks around probably like 8-9 pounds over that now that he's on his super discipline kick. But the idea of going up and down the ladder, unless it really makes sense at 40, would you want to see a Teofimo Lopez, Gervonta Tank Davis fight? Those are definitely names, and Tank's that guy. Teofimo just fought Claggett in Miami, and he underwhelmed and got lumped up. But he tends to play to the level of his competition. He might, get up, pause for a Tank Davis, because you really don't have a choice. He's going to knock you the fuck out if you don't do that. I'm really trying to think about who are the other players for a Tank Davis now that Lomachenko is out. Another thing I'd like to kind of explore is going back to the matchup between Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. Here's what I would say. If I went super early, unnecessary, like breakdown, super quick, with no film, you rate the fighters, right? Speed, Tank Davis. Power, Tank Davis. Boxing, skill, and ability overall. Okay, cool. Let's shade it to Shakur, but we know that Tank is a high-level boxer. Where's the one singular area that you feel like Shakur Stevenson could just really just make it difficult? Now, for me, it's obvious. Like, one of the best fighters in the sport of boxing that I've ever seen, not named Floyd, and I only bring Floyd up. Oh, Pernell Whitaker. No, these guys were better than Pernell at this in particular. Manipulating the range and distance. You could say whatever you want to say about Shakur Stevenson. I don't think there's anyone else in the entire sport of boxing that manipulates range like Shakur Stevenson. Now, at times, does he waste those opportunities that he creates with his intelligence? Yes. But the act of doing it in and of itself is more than impressive. I would give that heavily to Shakur, but the thing about Tank Davis, he has the attribute of aggressive, passive pressure, where you start to get inside of your head about things that you've drilled a million times because of the possibility of getting caught with something crazy. And so one thing that Tank has done really well is when he can identify, when he can get you out of there, and by what means, he executes at a high level. Hector Luis Garcia stayed in the pocket, boxed, went to the body, did his thing. Ryan Garcia, he had a guy that was being super aggressive, walking him down, telegraphing shots, ducked under, timed him, and then eventually stopped him on another duck under shot to the body. You look at Frank Martin, came out strong, fast, boxed really well, moved well. Tank Davis got it figured out, started setting traps, started cutting off that ring. Frank Martin didn't do himself any favors by going up against the ropes for no real reason, but Tank put that pressure on him, that passive pressure that makes you do silly shit that you know you're not supposed to be doing. And that could be a possibility for Shakur Stevenson. I don't want to believe that, he doesn't want to get hit with a big shot and he's scared to get punched. At this point, that can't even be an option, so I don't believe it. But truth tells, over time, in a bout between Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson, you're going to find out quickly if the rumors are true. I mean, it just is what it is. But this is my time. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. Let me know what you're thinking. Do you like the bout, Shakur, Tank? What are the other possibilities for Tank? Are you looking at Loma like a ducker? That's a good question. I've seen a lot of Loma duck talk, and I just think this shit makes sense. You look at Tank Davis and how he's operating right now and how he's doing his thing, and you're thinking, the miles don't seem that like I got to do that, and the weights and holding my breath for 15 minutes and all this extra shit. It doesn't seem, if those are the thoughts, you can't fight a Tank Davis. I'm not saying it's a duck. I know it's going to get called a duck, but what I am saying is, why go in there and get slaughtered? Because it would be bad. It would be a bad stoppage. He'll get slaughtered if he's going in there thinking about anything other than winning the fight. So why would you check for that? So anyway, I'm not knocking that. Let me know what you guys think. We out.